Yo, 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 what's up everybody? Evan here for Grips.com, continuing with Project Get Me Stacking. Today is all about coming in confident, coming in strong, so you can fuck shit up and get shit done. Let's get right into it. Hey Evan, sometimes when I sit down for a big tournament, whether it be live or online, I seem to get super nervous. My nerves can take me over and I feel weak. I've been playing poker for a while, so being inexperienced isn't the problem. How can I overcome these nerves in poker? Thanks. Daryl. Thanks for the question, Daryl. I think this is something that very few of us are immune to. And I can tell you from personal experience that this has happened to me on many occasions. In fact, the majority of times I've gone out to play a live tournament, especially when it's involved some flights, some travel, I have felt this way until recently. You know, if it's my first time sitting down at the table in a few months, even in cash games as well, or MTTs, I'd get the shakes. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what the heck's going on here? I've played this limit before. I've done well at this limit before, or even I've played this specific tournament before and done great. Plus, on top of that, I've been working on my game tons lately, seeing results. So, like, why would I be nervous? Like, what's going on, right? And there are a few reasons that I think this nervous energy comes up when sitting at a poker table sometimes. The biggest reason that I think we experience those feelings is associated with the amount of pressure we put on ourselves. When approaching a big tournament, a lot of us see it as our shot, our opportunity to make something really big happen, and we don't want to fuck up that opportunity. That means every decision is magnified. Mistakes should not be acceptable. And thus, there is a lot more pressure put on ourselves, which can lead to nervousness. It manifests in the form of nervousness and shakes. Think about it in terms of pickup. How much nervous energy do you feel when you're thinking about approaching that dime piece versus when you're just going to chat up someone you have no intention of pursuing? You know, the fear isn't there anymore because there's no stakes. When the stakes are high, the nervousness kicks in. And they're going to be at a high until they have an opportunity to be dealt with. When you're sitting down at the start of a live tournament, you know, the stakes are high because you're thinking about what could potentially happen if you win the whole thing. See, the funny thing about this is that usually after a couple of orbits, that nervousness subsides because we realize, hey, it's just another poker tournament. It's just another day at the office, and yeah, I know what I'm doing here. I don't really have any reason to be concerned. But before the cards are dealt, all that energy is just getting built up, and trapped, and there's no way to release it when the cards haven't been dealt yet. You haven't met your table mates, and you haven't had an opportunity to get into that flow state. You haven't been able to go through that routine that just lets you know, okay, yeah, everything's at ease. I find sometimes I have to lose a decent sized pot to shake the nerves and realize it's not the end of the world if I lose a hand or if I make a mistake. But it doesn't have to be this way. So the quick fix, if you sit down at a poker table, especially for a tournament and feel this way, is the following. Step one, tell yourself that this is just what it is, a poker tournament and nothing more. No grandiose craziness about it. It's just a fucking poker tournament. If you do well, that's fantastic. And if you do poorly, it's not going to be the end of the world. Number two, tell yourself, you know what? It's okay if I make a mistake. Now, don't aim to make mistakes, but letting yourself know that it's okay that it's human, giving yourself that room, that permission, will help take the edge off and will keep you from dwelling on them anytime you do make mistakes. If mistakes happen, learn from them. Figure out how you can adjust to your new table image rather than dwelling on those mistakes and losing focus on the game because all you're thinking about is that one slightly bad play you made and you can never forgive yourself because you didn't play a perfect tournament. You don't need to play perfectly to win, remember? It just helps. Number 3, remind yourself that this isn't your first rodeo and that you know how to play good poker. In fact, if you're watching this video, you probably know how to play poker better than most of your opponents for the day. Let's be real here. Give yourself a little credit. Okay? Number 4, acknowledge the reality. No matter how well you play, how good your results are in this tournament will come down to luck. Okay? A large portion of it, at least. You have no way to know if your stars are aligned at this point in the day. But if you play well and stay focused, you may have a clear picture at the end of the day. And if it's serendipity, if it's meant to be that you're going to win this thing, you'll find out by the end of the day. And if you play well, you have a better chance of actualizing that dream, making it real. Finally, number 5, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself by getting friends too hyped up about the event. You know, this can give you performance anxiety, and there's no need to place extra demands on yourself. It's okay to brick a poker tournament. Heck, you know, it's pretty normal to brick a poker tournament. But for some reason, it always seems hard to, go home and tell your friends who don't understand that you bricked it, that you didn't win, that you lost your money. And think about it, do you really want to hear that, hey, how did it go? From everyone you know when you get home? No. So, you're going to play a poker tournament. Don't make it out to be a huge deal before you go, because that's just going to put extra pressure on yourself. I hope this is making sense. The main reason you feel nervous is because you're in your head, you're psyching yourself out, and you're probably worrying about things you have no control over in all the what-if scenarios. If you think about what you would do if you win, and you've pictured it all, and you think it's fantastic, it's wonderful, it's perfect, and you don't win, then it's the end of the world because you don't get that reality to come true. But if you just think about playing good poker, then you're going to play good poker. So you need to get out of your head, get out of fantasy land, and get into the game, into a place where you can exercise some control over your environment. We all like to feel like we're in control, after all. Also, let's be real. Sitting down for the first hand of a poker tournament, it's a lot like going into battle and standing on those front lines, in the movies where everyone lines up and then the two generals go and talk it out before all the shit goes down. It's kind of what it's like. So obviously everyone's like, hey, what's going to happen with this fight, with this battle? Energy's there. I mean, you got people who are out there trying to take your money from you. They want to take your chips. They want to take your food. So they want to take you out of the game and end your tournament life. Death is scary, even if it's virtual death. And your body is telling you that with this nervousness and these shakes. So moving on, let's look at the long-term solution here, which involves things you can do before you sit down at the tournament to prevent yourself or make it far less likely that you are going to feel this way. If we know we're going to go into battle, we want to be confident that we have the best chance to win the war. Coming in feeling fully prepared is a great way to shake the nerves because you have no reason to be experiencing fear. You're the one who's most prepared and therefore most likely to win. If you want something you can listen to right before you play, a little 15 minutes clip, I have a video called the MTT pregame. I think it's the pre-MTT game video. I'll link it in the description. You can listen to that to just get yourself in the right headspace. Anyway, let's look at those steps in the solution. Number 1, get a good night's sleep and eat a good breakfast. a lot of signals that you feel come from your gut. A happy stomach leads to a happy person. So make sure you've got good nutrition in your tummy and that your system is in a well-rested state, ready to do battle. Number 2, I guess we're on 3 because my list is a little different, but next up, exercise. Get that nervous energy out of your system. Deal with it. By doing some sort of aerobic activity that you love, getting in a great workout, or just having some good old-fashioned intercourse, you can get that energy out. By taking care of your body's needs, it will step out of the way and allow you to take care of the needs of your mind, which in this case is winning that mental warfare that is poker. If, however, you've neglected your body, it's going to have a lot of pent-up energy that it wants to get out, and when you're trapped in a chair, nervous shaking or restless leg syndrome is how it's most likely to manifest itself. So find a way and get it out before you get to the game. Finally, meditation and visualization. We've arrived at my last method for overcoming this anxiety. Okay, meditation will help you calm the mind the same way exercise will help you to calm the body. It will allow you to filter through all the bullshit and rid your mind of what's not important. Once that's done, you have a lot more room to work with. You can think a lot more clearly. If you want to get the best results, you can picture how you would like things to play out and really immerse yourself in that. What does it look like? How does it feel? Are there any sounds associated with it, etc.? This may sound like the fantasy land I was thinking about earlier, but you're visualizing things that you can control. The more senses you can incorporate, the more likely your mind is going to think it's real. And if it thinks it's real, it knows how to kind of deal with the situation. And when you face the situation, it's going to be much more prepared for that situation. So when you've done that, when you sit down at the table, if your mind is thinking that it's going to experience a great victory that you just visualized, it's not going to be nervous. It's going to be calmly excited and feel very much at ease because it has something to look forward to, not something to worry about. Whoa. Bring me back. So, I mean, that's it, dude. Using a combination of both the short-term and the long-term approach is probably going to yield the best results. You got the quick fix for use anytime you're feeling that stuff. The long-term stuff, you want to do it before, but you don't just want to do it the day before. You want to build it up a week before, a month before, a year before. The more you've been doing that stuff, the less you will need the quick fix. But it's always good to have. But the biggest piece of advice I can give you is just don't take anything too seriously, okay? You don't need to put too much pressure on yourself. Obviously, you want to be giving your best effort, but at the end of the day, there's only so much that you have control over, and the rest, you just have to leave up to fate. So, focus on doing the best you can with anything that you exhibit influence over, and forget about the rest. You know what, just forget about it, because there's no sense in worrying about that which you cannot control. I mean, what are you going to do about it? So why would you waste any thoughts about it? I think it's simple, but it took me a while to understand that. So that's my presentation on that. I hope it helps you to deal with those nerves, get that nervous energy out of your system, and just fill you up with confidence to the brim and just radiate it out everywhere. Anyway, if you have questions for Project Get Me Stacking, please send them on over to evan@grips.com with the subject line, Get Me Stacking. I hope you found this video insightful and informative. Until next time, this has been Evan for Grips.com saying peace, patience, and progress.